have this one curl. Get up there. Sorry. Like that. Something like that. There we go. Feel better.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we have a baby in there. So special guest star.
Yes. My Miss Kima, who just laid down right next to
Okay.
Mama. And so she's hopefully going to be quiet.
How do you spell her name? How do you say
K-I-M-A.
Oh, just Kima. Okay.
Kima. Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Les did some research on names when we adopted our husky. And Kima in Inuit is supposed to mean or refer to candy. So she was so sweet as a little puppy. That's what we named her.
She was sweet.
She is sweet. She still is sweet.
I'm saying that's so funny. She's so sweet. You named her something sweet. Yes.
She's a little since Les and I have been working from home since, let's just call it May 1st.
Oh wow. Okay.
She's grown very attached. And Les had a chiropractic appointment this morning and she's just howling and going crazy. So
that's so funny how fast that happened. It's
yes.
only a couple of months. But she's like, you guys are around. So she's like, okay, I'm happy to have somebody around. That's all animals want.
Right. Or she was in the mood to go for, I can't say it, but a ride, right?
Yeah.
A ride.
Yeah.
And she got left behind. I'm not sure which one it is because Les will take her more than I will. Like she doesn't go in my car. She goes in Les's car.
Like not in my car.
Not in my car.
No.
No. So good morning.
Good morning. We have power. We didn't have power for most of the nights.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what happened, but luckily I did all my shows yesterday, my soap shows yesterday, did all that stuff. And I'm on the phone with Tony Moore Jr., our buddy, because he was very famous from his Beyond Salem Days Are Alive appearance. Got lots of attention. So we were happy about that. We love Tony. And I'm on the phone, we're just talking, chit chat, and all of a sudden, and now okay, folks, understand this. As we're recording this, it's some of the hottest weeks in Los Angeles. So yeah. Where's my fan? I don't have my fan. I have my little fan. So I'm in a part of my room that's against all these windows. So I have room darkening curtains. It helps a little bit.
Right.
But I have a ceiling fan on and a light fan on here and there, that helps extra things really cool. Well, that's not working because there's no power. So it started getting warmer and warmer. I'm really like, I'm melting in the house. It got warmer and warmer. I was like, this is not fun.
No.
I was laying in bed sweating. I know pigs don't sweat, but if they did sweat, I sweat like that. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that. We did not lose power, thankfully, knocking on this faux wood here. But what happened was, I don't know, at some point of the night, I must have felt like cuddling. And I woke up with a heat rash because where I had woken up, I had all my covers here.
Funny,
and I have a heat rash.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's been 100-ish degrees. It's been weird weather.
Yes.
We had some cloud cover yesterday in the valley. How about where you live in Inglewood?
Well, it's cloud cover. It's been very sticky down here. Very humid.
Yeah. Yeah. And we went into, I want to call it Hollywood, West Hollywood. We went to Tao last night for dinner. Amazing restaurant. First time there.
Yes. I like Tao. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Loved it. But it was cooler. And it always makes me feel like, why are we living on the other side, right, of the hill when we could live in 10 degrees less weather all the time? Like I don't know why.
Because you like the valley.
Well, yeah, it's what we know.
You do. You like the valley. We've had to talk before. I hate the valley. You like the valley. So I get it. Because whenever I had to go over to the other side of the hill, it's hotter than. And so, folks, you understand, I got to say for folks who are listening for the first time, I live about 30 miles away from her. I'm by the water. I'm by LAX. Whole different climate down here. Whole different degree change. So for me being hot compared to her hot is a little different.
Yeah.
Because they're in the 90s and 100s. We're in the 80s. High 80s is hot for us down here because we just don't have, the climate's just different. And also a lot of the houses here don't have central air and heat. they didn't need it before. When I was growing up, it wasn't that hot down here. It just wasn't like that down here.
Mm.
And even in the valley wasn't that hot either. It's gotten hotter as we've gotten older. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, I said, well, no, I didn't grow up in heat. I didn't grow up in heat like this. I mean, not like this. So for us, the high 80s, that's scorching down here for us. For them, it's a day off at the beach, basically.
It is. It's a relief.
It's a relief because 90s and 100s, there's a difference. There's a total difference, I believe.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
A total difference. But I can always feel it because I went to the Valley. Well, I went to Studio City last weekend. We went. No, it was it was last weekend. We went. No, what was it? Middle of the week? We went. Some point I went there. And the heat different. Well, yeah, we're in the Valley. We're in the Valley. I just go there every day to go to AfterBuzz TV. I don't miss it. Oh, I like it here. I like it in LA proper. LA proper. But not just you guys. If we go east, same thing. It's super hot out that direction too. And I was happy to be here. Here in Orange County, it's much cooler. It's much cooler down here. It's different than that direction.
It is. In fact, you met Veronica.
Yes, Miss Veronica. She's on the show.
She's lives in the West Hollywood area. And every time she comes over the hill, she always says, I'm such a good friend because it's like hot here. Okay. And I hate the heat, but I'm here for you. So she starts with full guilt trip, but works in the weather because it is such a big difference. But
it really is. I know we hear us. A lot of my shows, you listen to us, a lot of my shows, we always complain about the weather on these shows, but really there are microclimates and it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Not many places have that.
Yeah.
Not many places have where it's even though I was in San Francisco, it was basically one climate. Slight differences here and there. Sacramento, one climate. Pittsburgh, one climate. New York, mostly one climate. It's usually one climate. LA, I'll say Southern California is so spread out land-wise, I think. Because we have mountains, we have ocean, everything in between. There really is a difference. I mean, there really is a big difference. That's why whenever we have fires, my friends were like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't live nowhere near no fires. I'm like 40 miles this way. But you think of LA, it's LA. They think of something like these there. Like, no, it's really spread out. Like right now, if I got in a car right now to come see you, it would take me at least an hour and a half to get you.
No, not anymore.
At 9?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah. It'd be about an hour.
Okay.
About an hour.
Okay, an hour. That's still too long in the car. An hour is still too long.
Not to come see me, James. I mean, really, right? An hour?
Yeah,
it's a long drive. In fact, Les and I were talking about, because where we're coming from, we went to Tao last night, and he's like, oh, we should leave about 5. I said, you know what, let's cut it down to 5:15 for 6 o'clock. Right. We were there like 10 minutes early, but before I would have left an hour on a Sunday to get to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's cut back. The traffic is really nice.
I never see it on this side of town. We see traffic all the time.
I do. Yeah. Over here in the valley.
The 405, the 110, the 105. Traffic starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 105 and the 405, certain directions. And the 10, screw the 10. Oh, the 10 is like, oh my goodness, it is crazy. Because I was with my sister once recently. We were in Alhambra. She works in Alhambra and lives in Inglewood near me. It took us an hour and a half to get home. We left at 4:30, didn't get home until 6.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Just in traffic, just inching along.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Puppy's chewing her bone. Just an update on the report.
Yay, she's okay. She's still okay.
Kima's chewing her bone. Shall I give her debut? What do you think?
Yeah, why not? Let's just show her.
You think so? Okay.
Before you guys are listening,
I'm introducing you to Kima, our husky puppy. Can you see her yet?
For a minute. There she is. Hi, she's looking at the camera. Hi, baby.
Hi, Pupper.
She's like, why are you showing me? She's like,
what are you doing?
Exactly.
She's like, Mama's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on here? I'm just laying here.
Good girl. Good girl.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Wow. That's our almost 5-year-old husky, Kima.
So she really is a puppy then. 5 years old.
Well, she never emotionally grew up.
Like many guys I know, but up bumps.
She's really a lot of fun. But she's very sensitive, very sweet, very precocious, highly stubborn. She's like a teenager.
She sounds like me. Okay, yeah, that's great. I love it. Great.
And just as cute as you.
Thank you. I'll take it. See, this is what we do on the show. I'll take it. I will take it. That is hilarious.
What did you do this weekend? What are you doing over there? Sorry.
No, you have a child. You're talking to your child.
You buy the electronics and it makes me nervous.
Yes, you should.
So if we go out, if like I disappear, it's Kima's fault.
Which
and now she's opening the curtains, so I'm going to get this hot heat, that shadow that the sun casts.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I know we're talking about the weather, but I just can't. I know it's summer, but it does feel slightly different. Like I said, the weather's weirder this year. It's like before it used to be really hot. It used to be hot all summer. And it does. Like I said, one day I was like, am I in Miami? I'm like, where am I? It was just totally humid. It was that whole. I can't do humidity.
No, I melt. Yeah. Everything about me just wilts. It's really not pretty. Like right now, I'm starting to sweat and I'm a little nervous because she's moving around so much. Oh, yeah. That I just don't want her to she's looking for daddy.
Oh my God. Daddy ain't here, girl.
The door smelling underneath the thread. There's like this much room between the carpet and the door, and she's smelling. Come here.
Sorry,
you need to lay down. You need to lay down.
I have a present for you.
Really?
I need to get an address again. I forgot your address. I need an address again. Not on here, of course. Like, tell me your address. Okay, no. So everybody can hear us now.
If people are going to send presents.
Now you sound like me. That's why we're friends. We're like, well, if it's for presents, then here's my address. Presents? 1-1. No.
I'll send them straight for presents.
Yeah, exactly. I always accept gifts. I mean, sure, I'll take gifts. No, I asked you off camera. I'll do it. We'll do it in an email. I'll send you that. I think. But I have a little present for you that you might be able to use on camera.
I'm sorry.
You might be able to use it on camera.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. So a little.
Thank you.
Yeah, a little something.
I'm excited now.
Yes, some of those something I saw. I thought, who should have this? Melissa Phillip Heim should have it.
Oh.
That's who should have it. Side note, I know this is not what we talk about anything. This is coffee and conversation. I've had my coffee from Puerto Rico, Starbucks.
Nice. I've never been. I'm just kind of pedestrian.
But still green, so you know you're in the theme. Puerto Rico's, you love Puerto Rico's mom. No, but I had a nice meeting with the new IAB Cal president, Jill Epstein.
Oh, yes. I've heard good things about Jill.
I love her. I'm just telling you right now. They was like, what do you guys do? Are you guys BFFs now? Like, I love her. She is so forward thinking, so hilarious, so much. I mean, she's like just ready to go. I just want to mention to you. I was like, all these. I mentioned because of female leaders. You're a female leader. She's a female. I just love that. My strong women's. I love it. I do love strong women. I do. I love it. It's a whole different energy than I like strong men too. Don't get it wrong, but I mean that's another story. But I'm just saying. But I love strong women who have like a sense of themselves and have a sense of humor. Like you have it also. Like I just want to mention I got to talk to her. So
yeah, nice. So I haven't yet had the pleasure. I'm on the nominating committee, so at some point I'll be introduced and looking forward to it. So yeah.
I love her. So it's just good. So that's what we talked over the weekend. So that's something I did this weekend. I had other not so great stuff happen this weekend, but
anything you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, one thing that I will, because I want people to send prayers and stuff. My daughter we found out she's having a boy. It's so funny. Folks, we record these once a week, right? They come out once a week. We talk once a week. Every once in a while, we'll text each other a few things during the week here and there, but once a week we talk, and a lot of things can happen in 6 days. Like it really can. It's so interesting how that just from week to week. We had gender reveal first, that she's had a boy, and then we got news next day that she's having complications with her pregnancy.
Oh no!
So we So it's really rough for us at the moment. I'm not going to say what the options are because they're too morbid to talk about. But we are working on it. Just getting an amniocentesis in a couple of weeks, and we're going to try to figure out what's going on. So like life could change in an instant. It's like that, just like
Lay
that.
down. Lay down.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're
Timing.
yes.
Go lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
She doesn't listen.
Lay down.
Like kids never listen.
Lay down. Good girl.
She's like, no, I'll lay down.
She lay down. Yeah.
So
Sorry about that.
we had that news this weekend. So it's kind of I'm trying to stay positive, not be like we're gonna think positive. Then I found out we need a new bathroom.
You need a new bathroom?
There's some damage in the bathroom. My brother's bathroom. So we're gonna have to get that fixed. And I need new internet. So I'm getting that. And it's all happening this weekend. Trust me, this weekend. I'm getting tomorrow between 8 and 10,000 o'clock. They'll be coming. You know how that goes.
Yes.
To give me new internet, new router, and everything. And we're not done there. We're not done there, folks. Another funny thing happened. I'm like, I won't keep it off camera. And some of them, then like that happened. And then my second iMac my mother gave me stopped working. So, but here's kind of a fun thing. I haven't heard from them though. I'm like, how's my computer doing? I had to go to the Apple store.
Okay.
So my sister and I go. We had to, the soonest they could get me one was the one at the Grove LA. Have you been to the Grove?
Yeah.
So we went to the Grove, and they moved location, but it's a cute little store. Guess who we're sitting across from at the Apple store? World-renowned hip-hop producing legend, Russell Lee Simmons.
What?
Russell Simmons is sitting right across from us with his girlfriend, and they're getting a phone. Just like we were there to get their way to get a phone. And the one thing I learned, Melissa, doesn't matter if you're a platinum-selling, platinum-producing artist, legend, Russell Simmons, or James Lott Jr., they still got away at the Apple store like everybody else. That's what I learned.
Take a number.
Take a number. That's what I learned. But I want to give a shout out to Vince. Hey, Vince. You at the bomb.com. Take care of my stuff. Yeah, I kind of like it too. Anyway, we took care of my business. And I'm waiting for my computer to be ready, and I'll go pick it up again. Soon, hopefully soon. He said 48 hours. I think, well, I guess yesterday was supposed to be 48 hours. So maybe today I'll get a message. But yes, so that was kind of very LA. Come to LA, you see a star, like just like, and they had just got off the plane from New York. They were in LA, and so I heard the whole story. I won't tell all their business, but I heard the whole story. So that was kind of fun. So that was a little bit, but I had a lot of stuff drop. Then our power went out last night, so then we had that until this morning. So it's like a lot of stuff happened this weekend. I was like, it was my nephew Ezra's 9th birthday. I didn't make it to the party because I was dealing with all this other stuff. So it's been a very, very emotional, crazy, homeowner filled weekend.
Yes. Yes. Home ownership.
Yes.
It's they have all of these developers are building some really beautiful apartment home communities. I mean, they're gorgeous. Super expensive, but if you stop to think about it, as homeowners, the amount of money that we spend, right, on maintenance and upkeep and mortgage and insurance, and I mean, just all of it, property taxes. I do wonder, like, wouldn't it just be easier to rent? And I guess it depends on the property management company for me, because at the end of the day, if you have a very responsible, helpful property management company, it would probably be like bliss. They're few and far between. So, if something's not working, you can't just go fix it. It's not your property. You have to wait. So I'm like kind of trying to balance in my mind. Is it better one way or the other? Like if you had a choice, if you could afford home ownership or you could afford to rent, what is the better solution?
I feel like it's the same thing as entrepreneurship and working with somebody else.
Yes, I would agree
Right?
with that analogy.
It's
Yes.
very much the same. So it's like, so I always say not everybody should be entrepreneurs.
Right.
I changed my statement recently. Only everybody should be homeowners. I think home ownership is amazing and it's good for your pocketbook as I age myself in the long run, because all the rent you're paying to somebody else to live somewhere where you're not in control is crazy on some level, and you have no idea what the future holds. There are people who will suddenly want to move back into their house after 30 years. I had a client who went through that and then had to leave. They said, okay, 2 months they're coming back. We're taking back the house. They can do that. And she lived there, she lived like 25 years, she lived there.
Mm.
What do you do? And she was renting, but it was a great spot. It was a great, wonderful home and everything. It's like, but she's like, now I got to figure out what to do. She bought a house somewhere else, much smaller. Had to go smaller. Yeah, I just think, I mean, it's the grass is always greener, right? That's the whole thing. But all lawns need to be mowed. I would say it all the time. So I think it just really depends. I mean, it really is an individual choice. I would tell people, if to answer your question, if you can afford it, you find the right pricing in the right home, and it fits within your budgets, then I say do it. Because in the long run, property is always great to have. How I have property, I inherited property. So, and I inherited at a low cost compared to if we got it today. So I looked at, I've had property in other states too, and I got it at low cost. So it worked out for me. And so, but isn't it not for everybody, but it worked out for me. And this home here, I have a very low mortgage, very low insurance rate, everything, because I inherited it. And just it's from 50 years, 40 years of being here. So I'm very fortunate. So for me, yes, it's a great thing for me to do this. Personally wise, I'd rather stab my eyes out with cocktail forks. They go back to the apartment. Seriously, I would take chopsticks and shove my nose before I go back to an apartment situation. I hated living in apartments and all the stuff that you have no control over. Your neighbors, and they're having sex and they're too loud, or they have dogs barking all the time. Well, dogs barking all the time, or it's just too small, or you can't get somebody to fix the dishwasher. I mean, there's like so many things that I'm in control of. Wanting to paint one wall. I remember one place, I said, I'll paint it. I said, when I move out, I'll paint it back. I wanted an accent wall because I'm that bougie. They didn't want you. I couldn't do it. But let me do it. And I was always going to do it anyway. And say, screw you. But then I was like, well, then they always have inspections. It's like, never happens. Always have inspections. We have to go into your apartment tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. So I don't like any of that. That was 22 years living in apartments and townhomes and that kind of stuff. Now I'm back at a house last 13 years. You will have to pry my dead, cold, mangled body out of this place before I leave. I will be the last Black man in Inglewood. Trust me, I'm not leaving to try to get rid of me. I'm not leaving. I will be here to the end of time. Listening. That's how strongly I feel about it. Thank you, buddy. Good night. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Do your mic drop thing. There you go.
You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where I think I used to always say everybody should own property, but not everybody should own property. Maybe some people shouldn't own property. I mean, I don't
think so. I think I do. And I think a lot of folks who don't have a background in some level of home maintenance, whether it be electrical, plumbing, what have you, probably shouldn't, because Les, unfortunate, has a lot of that background. He grew up in a construction home. His dad was a contractor. So he was exposed to drywall and paint and little plumbing fixes, and he can do a lot of the maintenance. And he's really good at it. So we're lucky in that regard. We are undertaking a master bath redo, got it, start all over. And it's kind of our last space in the house that we haven't really touched. So he has construction friends who are referring us, a great tile guy. Like, he's amazing. And so I feel lucky in that regard. But I think, well, if I was here by myself and Les wasn't the man that he is and has all this knowledge, I'd be paying so much more money just to maintain the house. I agree with you though, guys. I've lived in apartments, I've lived in townhomes, and I know the sex thing. Had a neighbor. We have all had that neighbor.
We all have had that neighbor. All have had it.
We have all had that neighbor, and you know, I think what has changed though in apartment living is when you bring the washer and dryer in unit. I think that makes a change. Like, I think that feels more like you're living in a more grown-up space where you're not having to go out of your unit to do your laundry. And, you know, so again, some people, everyone has that neighbor that left their clothes in the dryer for 6 hours and held everybody else up. Like, we all had that neighbor.
Yes, we do.
And I was not one of the that was not that neighbor.
Neither.
Yeah, I was trying to be very considerate of other people. So for those reasons, I might go, well, you know, some of these apartments are like home living. They've been built to be more like homes.
That's true. But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem.
What? Yes.
When something, because I have a couple of clients who live in downtown LA and these expensive lofts, and she can't get. It took a month and a half for it to come to fix her washer and dryer that's in units.
Right.
Put it in
that
order.
was what I brought up. It's that whole, if you have a responsible, you know, property management company, makes the whole rental experience.
I agree.
A good one or a bad one.
I agree.
And you know, the good ones are few and far between.
I agree. Yes, I agree.
So it does really depend on who you rent from, I think, to validate the good experience. But some days I just wonder, you know, when you see all the money going, and it's nice, don't get me wrong, I'm sitting in front of new closet doors and they're beautiful. But at the same time, it's like, that was really expensive.
Oh, girl, I get it. Oh, trust me. I look at my front yard, I'm like, how much did I spend on all these godforsaken plants? That was all my money. And I mean, it looks beautiful, everybody loves it. But I'm like, that was a lot of money I spent over the last 11 years on these plants. Yeah. Or there's some days I'm like, I wish I could call in sick and get paid. I can call in sick anytime. I can be like, oh, I'm working today. But I don't get paid.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm so excited. I mean, I have a couple of sources that are, that I'm gonna be getting paid somewhere. But you know what I mean? It's like I'm not getting a full wage every day I'm not working. And I go, God, but then I think, can you be back in a cubicle again, working with somebody else? No. It would crush my soul daily, I think, to do that. And we were having dinner conversation, and I was asked, we were talking about vacations and getting away and what we're doing. And I said, well, Les might take this fishing trip without me because I'm in a very busy cycle right now in my business and really shouldn't, go. And he says to me, he says, but you could go if you wanted to. I'm like, absolutely. Yeah.
I could drop everything and just check out. But that doesn't mean that I'll have clients when I come back.
Hey, that's the thing. You're right.
So, you know, it's you still are, there's so much freedom.
Yes.
But with freedom comes great responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
And you and I are dependent on clients paying us.
Yes.
So we earn a living.
Yes.
Right. So if clients aren't paying us, we're not earning.
No, we're not.
That doesn't work for me.
No, I mean, either, girl. That's why we're friends. Me either. No, I mean, you're right. No, I could be like, well, just take the weekend off. Well, I could do that. And there's been times I have done that, but I had to really think first. I really had to plan. I still had to plan it going, okay, well, if I move this client this day, and if I do this, then yes, I'm still doing something to make sure I can take it. I don't just take it off. Like if I do, I got to still work around it a little bit. Or there've been a few times where I've had to take the loss. Like if you're sick or something, you just can't help it. You got to take the loss. I don't want to take the loss all the time. Okay. That doesn't help me any. And you either. So it's like, I don't want to take the loss all the time. So you're right. I could go on a fishing trip. Yes, you could go on it. But, you know, sometimes in our businesses, there are busy periods. There are periods where it's just genuinely
Yes.
I have busy seasons. I thought, well, oh yeah, first of the year, I can do anything. It's dead. The studios are on vacation, it's still on Christmas. But then sometimes like in the fall, where I'm like, it's super busy. I can't take them off. And this is where I can make my most money.
Yeah.
You and I are chasing the dollar. We're trying to get the dollar. You know.
Sorry, I have a husky puppy. It's starting to whine.
You're trying.
She's like,
You're still like
for a half
yeah,
hour
James.
now.
You're like, yes, James. Sure. Yes, I agree.
Sorry.
You were trying. You're a good person on
Trying
camera.
to appease both until my fingers were like drugged down.
Oh.
She wants a head scratch. Okay.
Well, we're at our mark. So I'm James and
I'm Meilssa.
and Kima also with us today.
Kima.
That's Kima. We are here. This is Coffee and Conversation with James and Meilssa. This is conversation 36. We're moving right along. I'm trying to think of something for 50. I think we should have a couple people for 50.
Oh, I think so. Well, let's do that. That would be fun.
People. Maybe one of your friends, one of my, well, they're all our friends now, kind of, but maybe one of your peeps and one of mine.
Yeah.
Bring them together and see the forms like you would do. Like you bring somebody with you, and so maybe I like invite like Flobo or Tony. You invite maybe Veronica or somebody, but all just have a good laugh.
Veronica Everett. We could do like 2 apiece too, because Veronica and Everett on the same show. That would be a good show.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I'll get Flobo and Tony on the same show.
That would be an amazing show.
Okay, we got it. I'll make notes on that. Okay, so that'll be for our 50 and 51. Those will be that'll be the big ones. But anyway, so we can follow us on all of the audio streaming services, Apple, Google, all those things, you know those things. And then of course on YouTube at JLJ Media on YouTube. And then we have a new feature because I unlocked it somehow. YouTube is like Tetris or something, it's like different levels or whatever. So now you can hit, there's a thanks button. It's like a little dollar sign. If you want to give me a little tip or something for this show, you can do that. Contribute to JLJ Media. Hit the thanks button. Any amount is up to you if you want to feel so choose. But it's a new feature. Apparently it does stuff for us. And hit the like button too while you're here if you like it. And share with your friends and have coffee and conversation. See you next time.